If you love watching plants get murdered, I guess this is the episode for you. Hi, and welcome back to the Garden of Eden, where hunger is holy and so are you. I'm Reverend Allison. I'm an ordained pastor. I'm queer, and I am in eating disorder recovery. I am now a second-year gardener, and I'm going to take you along for some of the end-of-week gardening activities I have to do today. Some of that includes planting some potatoes. I have a couple different varieties. I have more soil, so we're good to go on planting. I'm going to up pot my grapes from last year. They are in their second year. They look wonderful. And then I'm going to transplant some marigolds that I bought. If you were here last week, you know that I transplanted some marigolds I grew from seed, and they died very quickly, like within 4 or 5 days. I don't know what happened. I don't really research flowers, I research food. So I went to the store. This is the first, and I think maybe the only plant I'm gonna have to buy this year. Everything else just about I grew from seed, except oregano. I bought some oregano. But we're gonna transplant these into the tomatoes today, as well as planting some potatoes, but we are on a timeline, so we have to get moving. Okay, so I'm back to plant my marigolds. I think we'll do one kind of in here. Maybe even on this outer edge if I can cheat it enough. And that looks pretty close to right. Hopefully right here by this watering hose it'll be pretty happy and have a nice time transplanting. This is my old label for the other kind of marigolds, but it will still work because it still says marigold, and that's really what matters. Next, we're gonna plant one right here because I know that I don't have any carrots right here, which is what I'm trying not to disturb in some of the other places. And these are so established that I'm just kind of pulling them up by the stem. Going to dig this a little deeper, place her right in there so she's snug. All right, and that should do it there. I have 2 more left. This one that's flowering and this one that's not flowering yet. Okay, I'm in a little bit of a pickle trying to figure out where to place this because I don't remember if marigolds work well next to peppers. I'm gonna say they don't because they're from different climates, which is not always true, but it's not a bad starting place if you can't remember. And I don't want this bed to be too crowded. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is put it near the carrots. Well, here's part of the other problem too. After I planted the tomatoes, there are potatoes that sprouted in this bed, which is not super surprising because in hindsight, I took all the soil from my grow bags last year and I put it in the raised beds to help top them off over the winter, and then I added compost, so it's like all the same system. And I worked really hard to pick out even the babiest potatoes I couldn't use in those bags, but I'm sure there were some in there. And then I also planted a potato in this bed last year just because I didn't know what I was doing and had one extra and was like, I have room by these tomatoes, I'll drop them off. Which means I'll probably have potatoes in this bed forever and ever. Amen, I guess. So I'm trying to figure out where to put. So I have 2 marigolds left, and I think I need to do one in the other bed because I will have more tomatoes there. I have 2 in there now, and I'm waiting to transplant one more. But I think where this one potato is where I would have put the marigold down here. So I'm gonna put one just here kind of in between the tomatoes, I think, even though I have some carrots here, and just pray for the best. I'm going to plant it kind of here in the middle because that's the biggest gap I can kind of see in this bed. And also this marigold will be in the middle of a triangle between 3 tomatoes, which I hope means that her scent, that A, she'll have enough light from this side, the north facing, and then the south goes over it. So once that tomato is bigger, this one, the plant here won't get as much light because the sun is coming from over here, as you can see this time of day. But I think this is still a pretty good spot because these marigolds should not get huge, unlike these tomatoes. Okay, so we're gonna place the one that has not flowered yet here. And that needs, oh, you love how I have gloves on my lap and not on my hands? I bet other gardeners can relate to that. Hollow this out a little bit more, plant her a little bit deeper. There we go. And then backfill. Woo! You fell. So this is the marigold. One more, which is almost in the same spot as the one we planted before this in the other bed. Well, this is convenient. I hadn't planned to do this. I showed this on my Instagram, but it is the onions I planted over the winter have started throwing onion scapes, and that means that they are trying to flower or go to seed to plant more onions. But you want to pull those before they flower because A, it tells the onion to keep growing under the ground, but B, it also tells the onion to grow a bulb. So if you pulled it right now, the onion, while the stalk is about as big around as a quarter, the onion itself underground would not really be any bigger than a quarter. So when you pull the onion scape, and also when you've pruned the green portions of the onion, it tells the onion underground to grow bigger. So I'm going to show you. This is what an onion scape looks like. And I'm going to follow it all the way down to the base. You can cut them. I'm just going to pull it like that. And the heart of the onion scapes are a little bit different. You see how they're kind of solid. These and all the ones you see behind it are hollow, but this one is more solidified inside. So if you're not sure what you're pulling and you don't see this, you can also feel the stem to know. And technically, I'm told you can eat these. I'm not going to eat it because trying new things is still hard for me sometimes. So I'm just gonna toss it and leave it for some of the animals that I know come snack at the garden. Rest, I found another little onion scape, so here's another one. This one has gotten away from me, so I'm glad we caught it together. And I'm gonna pull it and toss it to the birds. Okay, I'm back, and we are going to plant potatoes, which mostly starts with me just filling up the bags of soil. Okay, this is a bucket from earlier in the video, and I did not have enough soil, so now I'm going to take all the soil I spilled while filling these beautiful buckets. I'm going to more evenly disperse it first of all, but then I'm going to take the tops of those and all the parts I spilled to fill this. I'm being careful to try and not pull any weeds, because this clover really is what most of it is, which I would hardly call a weed if I'm honest. Oh, there's one. If it was 4 leaves, I'd show you for good luck, but alas, we're just running on regular old luck these days, which explains a lot about our political climate, doesn't it? Okay. These are all, I'm going to top this off with some of the soil I have left, but for the most part, these are the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets are going to be full of potatoes, and I'm going to take you with me while I plant those, but it's not going to be super exciting if you've been here before. If you've never seen potatoes planted, you might learn something, so stick around. Okay, there isn't much left. This was a bag of 2 cubic feet, and there is this much of a corner left, so I'm going to snip the edge off of this and then use it to fill up the other potatoes that have started to sprout. Okay, so I'm gonna search through here. So this is a really good sized potato with lots of eyes, so I'm probably gonna do that one. And these are the Kennebecks. So I'm just looking for the ones that have lots of eyes on them. This one has several. And this one one's pretty big and has several. So what you could do with these potatoes is you could take them and slice them in half. And I might slice them this way because you want eyes on all the parts that you plant. I'm not doing that because I don't have the patience, and also there's only one bucket for each of these, and so really I need more space than I have potatoes. And so I'm going to just pick the biggest ones that will hopefully give enough nutrients. And potatoes like to be planted at least 4 inches deep. So I'm going to take this with the eyes on it and plant the eyes up, because you want to plant eyes to the sky. The thing I tell myself to remember that is Isle of Skye, like I'm in Scotland, and that helps me remember. So whatever helps you remember is what you should do. And we'll do this one the same way. All 3 of these buckets are going to be Connebecks. So I'm going to plant what I know I like, because after all, this is the Garden of Eden. And we plant things that we will actually eat. If we won't eat it, we don't plant it. Okay, we have one task left. We are going to take this container that the grapes are in and transplant them into this container, which I should have trellised after I'd replaced the container, but it didn't really occur to me. Because I kind of forget that I have grapes. They have thrived only because I think they're partially in the shade for a lot of the day, or at least entirely in the shade for a lot of the day, which helps with our heat even in the summer. We get tons of rain in the place I am in zone 7B, but I don't really even know what grapes need to thrive. That's how little I care for them. Everything else I can tell you: how deep it needs to be planted, how much water, how much sun, companion planting, what kind of fertilizer, how acidic the soil should be. But these grapes, these are the Annie or the Matilda child of my garden. So we're going to try to be a slightly better parent to her and give her some fresh soil as well as a bigger pot in case she needs more room to grow. Okay, step 1 of any good gardening plan is to put soil into the pot. And this pot is just, I don't know, it might have been $5 at most. It's from Aldi's. I wonder if the, oh my gosh, y'all. Well, no wonder they're doing so well. Holy cow, look at this. I think the next appropriate course of action is just to cut the pot off of the plant. Does make me feel kind of sad, but also I don't know what else to do. Okay. Well, I definitely just broke these. This is a mess. Okay, let me see if I can cut off more of this. pot. Oh, look, an earthworm. Oh, I need to protect him. How did you get into this pot, my friend? Another earthworm cameo. We're about to find it. If I still have grapes when this is over, it will have been a miracle. There it is. Holy cow. Shoot. That's what I was trying to avoid. I can't dig up the foundation of this house. Oh my gosh, there's another one. No, 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 this is not what I wanted. Oh my gosh, it's literally under the foundation of the house. That's not good. Okay, I think that's it for the Garden of Eden. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you are seeing signs of new life all around you, because it is the week after Easter. Yeah, thanks for joining me for what was an unexpected journey. Till I see you again, the soil will remember your name.